Last night I dreamed. I got in the van. My dad got in the driver's seat. I was in the back seat. I had to go to CVS, the convenience store and pharmacy. There's one located near my home. And it was a bright, sunny afternoon. I don't remember what I needed at CVS, but my dad was going to take me there. So he starts up the ignition, looks in his rearview mirror, and he realizes there's a vehicle parked in the middle of our street, and it's behind us. It's just outside of our driveway. Thankfully, it hasn't backed traffic up on our street, which is sort of a surprise because our street, for a residential street's a very busy one because there's an outlet to a service drive that one can access the freeway from. There's no traffic, there's just this vehicle parked behind our driveway in the middle of the street, and at first we're thinking, well, we're going to have to call the police because we're not going to be able to maneuver around this thing. But my dad, carefully, moving in idle speed, is eventually able to maneuver around this car parked in the middle of our street, and we're on our way to CVS. Now, as I said, the CVS it's near my home. It's a short ride. We were listening to a CD on the way over there. We listened to a Wesley Willis album, and we had time to listen to just one song on the album, and it was I Whoop Batman's Ass. Somehow, by the time we got to CVS, which was just 2 or 3 minutes later, it was dark out. It just went from being a bright, sunny afternoon to dark night, starry sky. My dad dropped me off in the parking lot, which was a bit of a surprise. I thought he was going to go into CVS with me, but no, he just dropped me off, and at that point, when I was walking toward the CVS entrance, I noticed actor James Woods standing beside the entrance, and he was glaring at me, and he had this creepy, devious grin on his face, and he was in this frumpled suit. He looked younger. He looked much younger than he actually is in reality. I mean, in this dream he looked, I guess, 35 to 40 years old, but he looked exhausted. He looked like he'd been through a lot. And somehow I knew what he wanted from me. He wanted to touch me so that he could drain my life force from me, so that he could siphon my life energy, and he could continue on, and yet this process was going to drain it from me. It was going to kill me. He was like the tragic figure in that movie 4D, man. And even knowing this, for some reason, just not going into CVS and just walking in the opposite direction, that wasn't an option for me. I had to go into CVS. So I'm walking toward the entrance. I see him. I acknowledge him. I smile. I talk with him for just a moment. And as I pass him, I don't want to take my eyes off of him, so now I'm backing up through the entrance of CVS. I don't want to take my eyes off him because I'm certain that he's going to lunge at me and do the dirty deed. And all the while I'm talking, just making small talk, and he just he's got his eyes locked on me. The creepy leering just doesn't cease, and he just keeps nodding his head and moving closer and closer toward me. And finally, when I'm inside CVS, I look around me, and now this CVS on the inside is now an enormous grocery store. So I take just a quick moment to soak in my new surroundings here, these unexpected surroundings, and then I ran away from him, just bolted, and suddenly I got really embarrassed by all of the attention that my running was drawing from other customers in the store. I got so embarrassed that I actually stopped running and slowed down and just started kind of, casually walking through the store. And James Woods, he didn't pick up speed at any point. He was just slowly stalking me like some unstoppable serial killer in a horror film. And was walking slowly through the frozen foods section, and I don't know if Woods ever caught up to me or not, because my alarm clock went off. And I hit the snooze button, fell back asleep for just a few more minutes, and then it woke me up again. I hit the snooze button again. And yeah, it was nice getting that additional bit of sleep, but that did, I wasn't left with enough time to record and upload this installment of Last Night I Dreamed before I went to work this morning, so that's why I'm doing it now. It's 6:04 p.m.